Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for hanging in there in this big
Fun time.
and gap of time between our videos. Not that I expect you're, waiting with bated breath to hear from us, but here we are. And we've certainly been experiencing a lot of our own ego death in the last couple of months. Some pretty big bifurcation energies that have hit our home in the last 2 months, 3 months, I guess, almost.
4 months. Yeah.
Wow.
It's been
So,
it's been happening for a while.
yeah. Probably one of the most challenging and trickiest episodes that I am coming to because it's been very raw for me lately. So, the purpose of the episode is to show how your path moves from fracture, which, when we say fracture, I'm talking about fractures in your relationships, fractures in the way you see things, and kind of like the big epiphanies that are coming in right now that are saying, I can no longer hang out in that frequency anymore. I can no longer go to that workplace anymore. I can no longer be part of the energy of certain people anymore. So yeah, so there's a path, as soon as the fracture happens, where all of a sudden you have that massive epiphany that says, I can't be here anymore. Then we move to the awakening. That's the awakening piece. That's where we say, oh my goodness, I can't unsee this. Forgive us. We have two dogs who are very needy, so I'm going to let them in, and I'm going to let Jay just chat a little bit.
Sure. Thanks, honey. Here
All right.
we come. Tiva and
Yes.
Charlie.
Yes, Tiva and Charlie. There we go. All right.
So why don't we dive in? And
Yeah.
We'll start with some of the information that you channeled.
Yes, for sure.
So again, we're talking about ending hereditary karmic cycles. So things that we have inherited from our parents, that they have inherited from their parents, and so on and so on, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, the intent of this is not to be victims or to accuse our parents of anything wrong.
Yeah, we're not vilifying anybody.
No. Because, again, everyone typically is doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
So, I'll start in. You are witnessing a mass ignition. This is not subtle. This is not gradual. This is a recall. A trumpet call that pulls the dominant lineage healers back into their bodies with clarity so sharp that the illusion cannot hold. They show me a field of souls standing up from deep, deep sleep, brushing off the dust and realizing this was not just a hard childhood. This was a system, a pattern, a loop, a distortion field, a karmic labyrinth they incarnated into by choice so they could dismantle it from the inside. And now, the remembering. And that's really kind of what I think many of us are going through.
Yes. I've seen it in my my practice with my clients. Every one of them that is being drawn to me right now is going through something almost identical, where they are waking up to the reality that they weren't wrong, they weren't too sensitive, they weren't crazy. They were actually seeing what they were seeing as a young person, but being told that they were too much or too sensitive, or or being gaslit. And then we start to question our own inner knowing, because all the people around us are constantly telling us that we're too much, too sensitive. So yeah, I'm sorry, I am very nervous talking about this because it hits so close to home. And so I'm going to take a second just to, really.
Well, honey, I've been seeing it at work as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it manifests differently at work because, again, the people I'm working with aren't coming to me specifically for this, but just in casual conversation at lunch, in the mornings, even during safety talks and things like that, I'm witnessing people feeling that something is different, something is shifting. I'm not going to say something is wrong, but most of them can't put their finger on it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And yet they're coming in exhausted.
Yeah.
And they don't know why. And they're like, I'm sleeping. Or collectively, everyone is waking up in the middle of the night and not sleeping for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Right? And it's like it's a collective experience that I'm seeing.
It is. And the reason we're talking about this now is because, I mean, these bifurcation energies started gradually years ago. I'm sure all of you can kind of look back in the last 5 years and see where you have let go of some relationships. But in 2025, it started to really get stronger. Those bifurcation energies now, especially moving into the solstice, are going to be so undeniable that fracturing will happen for star seeds mostly, and a lot of others too, but for star seeds in particular, we are talking to you because we're the ones waking up first so that we can put our hand later to help others cross that divide.
Yeah, and when we're talking about this hereditary karmic cycle, it's not about us healing just ourselves. It's about us healing our hereditary line.
Our whole ancestral lineage, yeah. So forward and backward. I'm seeing as I move through the release of all these old patterns and behaviors and beliefs, I'm seeing an automatic shift in my kids who are young adults, who are all of a sudden showing up in totally different ways than they used to. And so for me, it's like, oh, thank God.
Well, our kids are all good kids anyways.
Well, they are, but we all have stuff.
It's good to see them.
Yeah,
it's good to see them growing,
releasing the old ancestral patterns. So the epiphany wave has begun. So what we're reading here is what has been channeled through my guides. The epiphany wave that has begun. This wave began to crest between the 11:11 portal and this recent new moon on November 20th. It will intensify until the solstice. 3 major realizations are occurring simultaneously. And again, I will say, star seeds are going first. So, number 1, my childhood wasn't normal. It was dysfunctional. And that's a veil being ripped off a lot of people right now. For decades, star seeds normalized trauma because that's how they survived. But now the veil is too thin. The nervous system is too awakened. The body cannot pretend anymore. This realization often hits like a lightning bolt, and I can totally attest to that. Followed by grief, anger, liberation, and holy clarity. When I say holy clarity, I mean holy clarity. Number 2, I have goosebumps. Like I'm being showered right now. So I know that my angels and guides are supporting me in this. Number 2, I was the conscious one all along. Cycle breakers are remembering that their sensitivity was not pathology, but activation. They were reading energies correctly as children, but were told they were dramatic, too emotional, too much, too difficult, too sensitive, or imagining things. Now they can finally see they were the ones who saw the truth. And in the psychological world, that's called the scapegoated child. And then number 3, so this is the third thing that's happening. The family system was configured to suppress me. This is the third realization.
Yeah, and not just you, everybody.
Yeah, this is me, the collective me, not just me. Not by conscious design, but by ancestral momentum. These souls incarnated to disrupt long-standing loops of denial, enmeshment, martyrdom, addiction, control, guilt, and emotional unavailability. Their families felt the disruption and tried to pull them back into the old matrix roles. But now the illusion no longer holds power. But I gotta tell you, once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
Yeah.
And the force of the fracture is palpable, more than palpable. It changes your whole reality.
And it's good to be able to look back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. So I'll share a little story, and it's a funny story, not a sad story.
We could all use funny.
I was thinking back. I don't know why, but this came to me. So I was younger. I got in a bunch of trouble with my yes, I did.
This is Mohawk guy in grade 9.
so my dad was furious.
Mm-hmm.
And he was furious because my friends and I had, I guess, technically broken into an abandoned house that was, you know, probably half a mile away from home,
Mm-hmm.
Down towards the downtown of Galt.
Okay.
And so we had broken into this house and, you know, went and wandered through the house and anyways. And so my dad was furious with me. And we had a conversation about what my punishment was going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the funniest part looking back on it is not the conversation about what the punishment was going to be or even what my punishment was because I don't remember. The funniest part is that I had to have been younger than 5 when my friends and I were roaming around on our own.
What?
Yes.
So this wasn't 14-year-old Jay, this was 5-year-old Jay.
No, because we moved from that house.
Yes,
on
we were
Lansdowne
so well
when I was
supervised.
in grade 1.
Yes.
So I would have had to have been at the oldest the summer going into like grade 1. And so what the heck?
Little rascals.
What the heck were we doing?
You were the little
around?
rascals.
Absolutely. You know, so, you know, again, and I don't, you know, I don't look back with negative feelings towards my parents for that sort of stuff. But I do look back and say, what the heck was going on when we grew up? Like, how is that a thing?
I think most 70s babies can attest to the fact that we pretty much, we were set loose as early in the morning as possible and then kind of called back in at dinner time.
Come back home for when the street lights come on.
Exactly.
Right?
So, so you're up next with the next epiphany bit.
Absolutely. So this is from the Palladians, and it's why are the epiphanies arriving now? Your Earth's Schumann resonance, solar activity, and magnetic field fluctuations have reached the frequency where denial collapses. This is what they call timeline bifurcation inside the family line itself. The higher timeline pushes the truth to the surface. The lower timeline clings harder to the old stories. This creates tension, friction, and then a breakthrough. If you're feeling this, it's because you are among the forerunners of the forerunners. And so for those people who are going through this, who are having strange, strongly vivid dreams, remembrances of their childhood, remembrances of, you know, traumatic events from their youth.
Things that perhaps you swept under the carpet to keep the peace.
You know, it's okay that this is happening, right? And again, we are energetic beings, right? And so all of these heightened energies throughout the earth do have an impact on us.
They do.
Right? And again, as I always say, for people who don't feel that these types of things can have influences on us, I understand. We know that the cycles of the moon move the oceans. And being human beings, we're much larger and, you know, have much more mass than the ocean. So of course it wouldn't affect us. But these things do affect us.
Yes.
Right? And again, we're seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing it with the people we meet. We're seeing it with the people we talk to every day.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, what this means for the star seed cycle breakers. That's you, that's me, that's you. If you're watching this, you're a star seed. You're here for a reason. Whether you're going into the shift, you're in the middle of it, or you're nearing the end of it, we're just trying to communicate that you're not alone, basically, with this video.
And please make sure to breathe
and
ground
and release the guilt and the obligation. So, what this means for the starseed cycle breakers. Archangel Michael is speaking on this one. Those who are awakening now are not simply healing themselves. They are closing contracts that began many generations ago. They are dissolving karmic structures that their ancestors could not dissolve. They are stepping out of the family matrix entirely. This may look like suddenly seeing the truth about parents, siblings, or partners. Losing the ability to tolerate manipulation or guilt. Withdrawing from drama loops. Emotional detox and exhaustion. Feeling as if their inner child is waking up. Remembering forgotten memories. You mentioned that. Feeling a deep, strange sense of mission. Rapid identity shedding. And that goes hand in hand with the ego death video that I'll link below that we did back in the summer before the fracturing.
And the frost.
Wow. Yeah. Feeling a strange sense of mission, rapid identity shedding, and needing more time alone. Also experiencing intuitive surges and psychic clarity. This is not regression, this is rising. You are not falling apart, you are coming back online.
Yeah. And again, like, I'm seeing so many signs of this in people, and they're not really sure what's going on.
And you're living it with me right now.
I'm living it with you. And I'm living it myself.
You are my pillar of strength, and I am so grateful for your patience.
I love you.
I love you too.
But yeah, again, everybody who's going through it, anybody who's going through it, take time to ground. Be kind to yourself, forgive yourself. Right? I mean, so often we look back and we flip between, frustration, possibly anger with, certain things that happened when we were growing up, maybe from our family,
our church, our school, anywhere.
And flip between that and then possibly reflecting how we were as parents.
Yeah.
And again, would I change it? Of course I would if I could. And I can't. And so, it's a matter of what can I do now?
What can I do now? Yeah.
Right? So be aware, accept it, lose the guilt, and just keep moving.
That's
keep
right.
breathing.
Yeah.
So the sacred role our souls came to play. This is from the Andromedans. You are the bridge point between what was and what humanity is becoming. Your healing liberates the past. Your awakening shapes the future. You rewrite the family template each time you choose truth over loyalty to dysfunction. This is why many of the starseeds feel detached from old family roles, less guilty, more observant, more grounded, less willing to self-abandon, more willing to walk away, more committed to peace, more aligned with their higher self mission. And these are symptoms of embodiment, not disconnection. And so, it's funny because I'm reading that list and I instantly think about Christmas. And so, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, Christmas was that time of year when you had to spend days decorating your house. You had to start pre-cooking. It was in baking, and it was a matter of who all is coming and when are they coming and when are you going to this place and when are you going to that place, and working out the very complex, convoluted schedule, which you know somebody's going to be unhappy with because on December 25th, you're going to be here and not there, or you're hosting 20 people and you got to make sure that your turkey's big enough, and God help you if it doesn't fit in the oven, right? I mean, that's a thing.
Or, yeah.
That is a thing.
I know.
You know, and on and on and on and on, and it's a production, and
it's a performance.
Wait until Boxing Day because it's over.
Yeah.
And the reality is that everyone comes in, says hi, drinks some wine, gobbles the food down in a half an hour, and then falls asleep on the couch with their hand halfway down their pants like Al Bundy. And so, and I'm exaggerating, but for fun. But it's interesting. And again, I'm using Christmas as an example.
Yeah.
Because that's part of that role, right? You had to do this.
It's part of the performance.
Exactly.
Yes.
And, so last year, we ended up doing Christmas with the kids early. It was very calm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tortillas.
Turkey pot pie. Kept it simple. Made it all beforehand.
And it was such a lovely day. And then on Christmas Day, if the kids were available and around, they could come by. And it was so easy, and it was so lovely. And we had a great time, and the kids had a great time. At least that's what they say. And, so I look at that as an example of that change from the roles, because those were roles we had to play.
Or felt we had to.
To play. Pardon me,
Yeah.
You're right. And that's, I think, the whole point.
Yeah.
Is that we felt compelled to live those roles. And, truthfully, we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So I jotted down some things before coming on camera because, of course, I'm still getting flooded with info. And if I spewed it all here, we'd be here for hours. Embodiment. I just want to talk a bit more about embodiment because the title of the video is from bifurcation to embodiment. So the whole part of the bifurcation is to separate your frequency from frequencies that no longer match. And then from there, you do the healing, you do the growth, you do the releasing of the old patterns, of the old belief structures. And then you come into sovereignty, which is you taking back your power, which is you releasing those behaviors and patterns so that you can move to embodiment, which is where the return of your full spirit comes into your physical body. For most of us, our spirits, like most of our spirit, is not in us. It's not down here with us. It's kind of hanging out up here because of all the trauma and the fracturing within us throughout our lifetimes. As we release that and heal through that, we release that energetic density that has settled in. It literally leaves. And then there's more room for our actual spirit to come into our sphere. So that's what the embodiment piece is. So the bifurcation is the hard part. That's the messy, like yuck, sticky, getting rid of all that stuff, moving through the emotions, not hiding them, not shoving them, not feeling guilty for them, and really letting your soul back in. So a little bit more they gave me this morning is embodiment is when your soul becomes the one driving your life, not your wounds, not your conditioning, and not your fear. Awakening says, I see the pattern. Embodiment says, I no longer participate in it. Awakening says, I know the truth. And embodiment says, I now live the truth. Awakening changes your thoughts. Embodiment changes your nervous system, habits, choices, and boundaries. Awakening is a moment, a death, a revelation, a shock, a truth. Embodiment is daily, saying no, resting, choosing peace, stopping family loops, the end of performing. Embodiment is the true reward of bifurcation. So, with that, that's the point I want to get across. The bifurcation part is hard, it's messy, it's ugly, it's emotional, and it's necessary so that you can come back to who you truly are, a spirit that's here to have a physical experience. So when you can pull all of your spirit back into your body, you are no longer reacting to things. You're now pausing. You're now thinking, is this worth really, an argument? Is this worth creating any upset? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's about choosing. It's about stepping back and not reacting anymore. You're not coming from the old wounds. You're taking a moment to go, no, that's not worth me responding, or that's not worth getting upset. That's their stuff. They can move through their own emotions, and I will stay sovereign. I will hold, a strength and energy as they move through. I will hold space, but I no longer need to take everybody's emotions, because us star seeds do that. That's why we're here. We're transmuting energy all the time. Now we're aware that's what we're doing, and now we can control whose energy we're transmuting. Who's, is it collective energy I'm feeling right now? Is it my energy? Is it my partner's energy? And now that we can become aware of it, then we can start to actually take a moment and go, yeah, I don't need this. And then just, energetically, just gracefully put up your boundaries. Let whoever have their moment and just sit there and ho'oponopono it away. Ho'oponopono is one of my favorite modalities of release. And if you haven't heard of it, look it up. The book I learned from was Zero Limits by Dr. Joe Vitale. Life changing for me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's about being able to observe our own peace.
Yes.
Right?
And our own reactions, so that we can go, oh, wait a minute. That's a pattern.
Which I'm still working on.
Oh my goodness, so am I. So the other day I went to see one of my best friends in the whole world, who's also moving through this alongside of me. And we were sitting having this wonderful conversation. We've both been through the same thing, but at different points in our life. And her son happens to be helping us do some renovations around the house. And he showed up when he was at my house working on it. He showed up, came through the door, and I jokingly pointed at him and I said, you get back to work. And I could see a flicker of upset in his face when I did that. And I immediately felt it. Immediately. And I was like, oh crap. Because that was a pattern. What I did was an old pattern from before that puts people on guard, even though it was sarcastic.
Yeah, it was a joke.
It was a joke.
But it was so funny that it did momentarily upset.
I saw the flicker, and he sloughed it off, and I could tell he left. And after I came back home, he was back here working on some stuff for us, and I went up to him and I said, I'm really sorry. I said, you know what? That was an old pattern. That was something that just flew out of me. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. And I could tell by the recognition on his face, he was A, grateful for the apology. B, he was able to be validated in that moment. And that is a huge thing. When you can apologize to somebody, even if it's the smallest thing. I mean, I'm not saying run around apologizing to everybody, because not everybody is going to receive it. But I knew he could, and I knew he would, and it was fine. But that was an old pattern that came out of me. So then, the rest of the day, I'm like, oh man, these things just keep popping out of nowhere. Yeah. But you just have to be with grace. Do not hold guilt or shame for it. Just go, okay, thank you for showing me that I still have a little bit more to work through, to release.
Yeah. Just
So,
be patient with yourself,
yeah,
which is very hard.
yeah.
It's so much easier to be patient with other people, at least for me.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I find it easier to be patient for other people than to be patient for myself.
Yeah, yeah. This is a topic I feel like, we could talk about forever, but I think we've gotten.
But we won't.
No, I think we've gotten the main points out there. My door is always open, so if you want to talk about it, if you're like, oh my god, I need to talk about this more, then you know what? Look us up, littlehouseofcards.com. You can find what you
Shoot
need
us a
there.
message.
Shoot us a message. We're on Facebook at Little House of Cards. We're on Instagram at Black Cat Bunky. So yeah, reach out. Honestly, that's why we're going through this first, so that when the chunk of the bifurcation energies hit the rest of the world, we can, from our own experience, we can help others along. So thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Star Seeds. This is tough, and you came here for a reason, and your reason was to help shift the energies in your ancestral line, so that those family patterns end, and the new babies coming into this world do not have to suffer the distortion in the family lineage that we did. So, thank you.
Have a great day. Or night.
Yeah.